Yo, welcome to Play Free. This is real conversations with the people who shape the game. I'm down in Northwest Arkansas right now. I hope you love my awesome background that I transported from North Jersey to here, but I'm in the land of Walmart and Ozarks FC, doing my best to bring this podcast to you from wherever I might be. So this episode that I'm introducing is going to be a little different. There's going to be no guests. It's just going to be me talking about the system, about the alphabet soup of youth soccer in this country and how confusing it has gotten. So it's a quick one, but it matters. So before we jump in, just wanted to also let you know, running around like crazy, trying to get folks scheduled and complete recordings, but just want you to know, please hang in there with me. We got some incredible folks representing both the women's and men's side, ranging from DOCs, club presidents, coaches, college coaches, players, pro, former pro, playing, living it all right now. So it's all getting scheduled. So between their schedule, my schedule, and just getting it all sorted out, hopefully we'll be very consistent moving forward. So going to do my best to drop something every Monday and then have some fun things in the mix for Thursdays. Pretty fired up for what's coming next week. Had a great conversation with Peter Zulia regarding ACL, specifically with women. Peter was actually my PT back when I played at Miami of Ohio and got me through several ACLs and knee surgeries, and is just an insanely smart and cool dude, and I'm really stoked for you guys to learn and listen to that conversation. So listen, just getting started here, and appreciate you hanging in for it. A couple things to shout out. One, definitely stop by Philadelphia Soft Pretzel Factory in Langhorne only. Tell them Freddy C sent you. Drop Play Free FC. Get yourself a free pretzel. Check out my boys at Hill and C. Dope gear. Love what they're doing. Pretty cool. And then lastly, and pretty exciting actually, Mark Freinig, who a lot of you guys know from the local Philadelphia scene, great player, great dude, has written an insane book called American Soccer Nation. And to read it, the remarkable 150-year history of Yanks on a roll from mob football to the modern game. The foreword's actually written by Kevin Sullivan, another local Philly dude, as well as Tim Howard, former U.S. men's national team goalkeeper. So it's a great book. It's on pre-order right now, so go ahead, get your copy. It comes in at the end of April. All right, let's get into this, John.
Welcome to Play Free. If you're new here, this podcast is about real conversations with the people who shape the game of soccer. I'm literally coming to you live from a tournament this weekend, and I'm excited to be here. But today, I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about the structure underneath the game and the system that kids, parents, and clubs are trying to navigate right now in American youth soccer. Because if you spent any time around youth soccer in the United States, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It starts to sound like, and I'm going to, use this and say this because other people say it as well. It sounds like alphabet soup. So we got MLS Next, ECNL, EDP, YS, Regional League, National League, showcases, jumbling words and jumbling letters. It's literally somewhere in the middle of all that are your kid. And that kid just wants to play soccer. Now, let me be very clear up front. This isn't an attack on any league, not obviously anti-academy. I'm not anti-ECNL or GA. Those platforms matter because exposure matters. College recruiting matters. And if a player wants to play in college or maybe even professionally, leagues absolutely provide more exposure and opportunity. And that's real. Listen, it's real. But I do think we have a problem in American youth soccer. And the problem isn't that these leagues exist. The problem is how many of them exist and how early families feel like they have to navigate through them. I see this locally all the time. But 8-year-olds, going to 4, 5, 6 tryouts a year. Families driving literally all over the place, trying to figure out the right club, the right team, the right league, and the right pathway when maybe it's sitting there right in front of them in their local community. sometimes I just got to step back and think, like, what the F are we doing? Like, what are we doing? These kids are spending more time in the car, literally, than they are with a ball at their feet. I mean, that's just bananas to me, isn't it? It's bananas. And listen, I'm not. Well, I am kind of blaming parents, but in the end of the day, parents want opportunity for their kids. They want doors to be open. They want to make sure they're not missing something. But at some point, we have to ask ourselves a simple question, and that is, 8-year-olds shouldn't be navigating a soccer. 8-year-olds shouldn't be navigating a soccer marketplace, for lack of a better way of saying it. I guess maybe for some context, I'm not just watching this from the sidelines. I've lived inside this game for a long time. I played soccer in college. I played after. I'm a coach. I'm a parent. I'm also on the board of a club here in Bergen County called Wyckoff Torpedoes, and it's a nonprofit youth soccer club here in New Jersey. So I see the system from multiple angles. And right now, we're navigating it just like everyone else. Our teams compete in multiple leagues. Some play in MLS Next, some play in EDP, some play in northern counties. Not because anyone is trying to complicate things, but because that's what the current structure requires if you're trying to create real competitive environments for different players. So, especially when you're trying to build pathways for both boys and girls, let me tell you, building those pathways can be insanely difficult. Leagues control entry, expansion is limited, competition for spots is super intense. So clubs end up piecing together opportunities across multiple leagues just to serve their players. But these leagues do matter. They do. But leagues don't develop players. Environments develop players. The badge on the jersey doesn't make a player better. Coaching does. Training does. Freedom to make mistakes does. Time on the ball does. Or there are incredible coaches inside academies. There are obviously incredible coaches inside ECNL programs. And there are also phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal coaches at smaller clubs that don't have those platforms. Development is not owned by a league. It's just not. Now, again, let's be fair. College coaches have limited time. I'll throw that analogy out. Like, do you want to go to a place to find a needle in the haystack, or do you want to go somewhere that has 100 needles all running around like crazy? So they go where the game is centralized, or where the showcases are centralized, or whatever it might be. So yes, leagues like MLS, Next, and ECNL can absolutely create visibility for players. That's part of the ecosystem now. But what we've also created is this perception that if you're not in the right badge, you're somehow behind. And that's bullshit, part of my French. And that perception drives behavior. Families jump clubs, they chase leagues, they chase the next platform. Sometimes, literally every year, I see it on my daughter's team. Every year, someone jumps and goes somewhere where they're not ready to go to, or it's for whatever reason that the parents maybe think that it's a better opportunity. Um, and that constant movement isn't always good for, well, it's not good for development. I'll tell you right now, it's just not. Now, here's another take. Sometimes the pressure in youth soccer isn't coming from the kids, as I just said, it's completely coming from the adults. Parents want the best opportunities, and sure, of course they do, but sometimes the chase for the next level starts way earlier than it absolutely should. My philosophy, my POV, who am I? But kids should be falling in love with the game, nothing more, nothing less. And they should not be managing a resume at age 9. Now, to be fair, there is a point where the structure makes a ton of sense, and there will always be outliers, players who are clearly elite, players who need the environments like the New York City FC Academy or the Philadelphia Union Academy. Those environments exist for a reason, and for the right players, they can be incredible. But those players are absolutely the exception, not the rule. And so the vast majority of youth players are developing over time. I mean, there's different growth curves, late bloomers. Development isn't exactly like linear. It's just not. And that leads to like kind of a bigger issue. Youth soccer in America doesn't just have pathways, it has too many pathways. And at some point, the number of leagues stop helping the game. It just does. And it starts making it very difficult to understand for players, for parents, and honestly, even for the clubs. And part of this is simple economics. And um, youth sports is a massive industry. I get that. Clubs grow, leagues expand. Everyone wants the best clubs. Everyone wants the best players, and the ecosystem that just keeps fragmenting. And none of this happened overnight. It's evolved over decades. I mean, since I was playing back with it, and then 80s and 90s. And that now we're in a place where the system feels incredibly complicated. So the real question becomes, will it ever simplify? Does Major League Soccer eventually control the pyramid? Listen, spitballing here. Do we move towards something closer to one structure with tiers underneath it? I don't know. Something that looks more like the systems you see in other parts of the world. Now, our academy system is doing that, but like everything below that, still developmental to get to the academies. Are we doing that in the best way we absolutely could? But I do think the current system is incredibly fragmented, and the fragmentation um, creates insane confusion for families trying to do the right thing. And at the end of the day, every player's journey is completely different. There isn't one perfect pathway. There are great environments inside academies and inside ECNL and inside community clubs. But what matters most is the environment around the player. And that's coaching, culture, joy, freedom, challenge, opportunity. I'm just throwing these words in front of you, but that's what makes the game awesome and fun, right? It's about the player, not about the league. Because I don't think the best players in the world didn't develop because of a logo. They developed because they fell in love with the game. So maybe the real question for parents isn't the league is the team in. Maybe the better question is this an environment where my child will grow as a player, as a person? And will they fall in love with the game? Because when that happens, the pathway usually just takes care of itself. So I'd like to think that's what I'm doing here with Play Free FC, and it's what Play Free FC is all about. Anyway, listen, thank you for listening, and we'll be on to the next jawn next week, and I'll see you soon. Peace.